Hi, I'm Pompilla Agalo. I'm the founder of Pompilla Agalo Foundation. I'm a teacher and now I'm also an author. I define my journey as a tapestry of 3 lifetimes. The first lifetime is when I was born into a culture that determines that I'm no longer with identity because my father did not pay what we call the child redemption fee. In my culture, if your mother is not married, you are the look child. Until he comes to claim you, you'll forever have no identity. And my life moves to the search of identity of a child who needed a father's love. And until I found that love, I never felt at home. I was growing up in northern Uganda, a home of the LRA rebels and band of rebels who have been around from 1987. Our lives were lived with fine precision because we did not know what the next day held. Being a girl in a boarding school that had a history of 2 abductions, successful abductions, when I entered that school, I knew that that could be my story. But God had other plans. When Father John heard of me, a rebellious child, he wanted me. I think that was what he was called to do. He always sought out for that child hurting, who had a unique passion, who had a unique kind of pain, and brought to his house in the city in Kampala, away from northern Uganda, so that he could heal that hurt. When I met him, the love that Father John gave me truly defined love for me, and my search for identity stopped. So it moves to my second phase of life, which is to become a radio host. I discovered myself, and I found out that I am actually a personality that likes to talk. And talk I did. I went to a rock radio station. Well, now there was a problem with that. That's not conventional, not to the house of a priest. He wanted to raise doctors, lawyers, teachers, but now I was working in a rock and roll radio station. Doing what? Playing rock music. Well, it was the advent of DSTV, and we were beginning to learn what is this rock music in Kampala. And the few of us who learned it, loved it, wanted to be a part of it inside. So I conducted a show, Sleepless, which went from midnight to 3 a.m. Not good for Father John. So he moved me to my 3rd lifetime, which is to become a teacher. Was I a teacher? No. Did I go to school of education? No. But he could make that out of me because he had seen something special that he wanted to train. So he planted me into his school, Bishop Cipriano Chihangire Senior Secondary School. Now that leads me to the 3rd lifetime. The students that I met there, well, they loved the cool Pompey who was on the radio. So we became friends and brothers and sisters in arms. I was just as young as them. We shared secrets that they could not tell their parents. And I think I became that cool teacher that they could talk to. And before you know it, a decade. And I'm a teacher, fully blessed teacher, and I'm here in class and running a school. I mean, a class, not a school. But the most important part of this story comes when these students start to call me mom. Look, these kids used to call me Pompey. I'm moving on the compound, and they're like, "Hi, Pompey. Did I just hear somebody call me Pompey? That's me on the radio. Why are they calling me here? Here, I'm madam." But the kids are just kind of free with me. But it's transitioned to Pompey, to mom. I have this child walking around and she's like, "Can I have a chat with you?" And this chat leads to her asking me to be her mother because she never got to meet her mother. And why was I attracting such kind of a sympathy, or attachment to me? My personality, was I a mother really? And this went on, and many girls found themselves attached to me as that person that could be their mother. And I think that this was the catch. Father John loved me patiently and trained me to be that mother. I didn't know it yet, but now I do. It leads me to writing a book in honor of Father John, who gave me life and many more students and children from northern Uganda from the war, and gave us a home, and gave us love, unconditional love, and made us the fine citizens we have become today. I'm just a reflection of many of my brothers and sisters. They're all over the world. They're here in the Americas, they're in Uganda, they're in Europe, and we've been gone to different places. We've gone to different places, and I am here to tell the story of a man who gave us life, and he charged us to do the same and carry on with his love. So Pompilla Agalo Foundation is that catch. Finally, I understand what love meant. It meant that I should bless it forward. If I tell my story today, it is a story of love in the face of conflict, of the human spirit of resilience, to get back up whenever something throws you down, and to do it so with joy, because we have hope for a better future for these children. So my foundation is to enable a child by love simply. Now to my kids. I envision a world where students develop an entrepreneurial mind to do something out of the box. You see, the way the colonial education is such that students depend on the school books, and you can only be somebody if you've gone to school. But how about those who cannot afford to go into schools, and those who have gone and stayed laid on the streets and do not have jobs? Can we help them to think that beyond the texts and the school books, they can be something? So we want them to understand that they can think beyond that box of school books and be able to build their native knowledge into tangible output so that they can become entrepreneurs in the future. Your students call me mom. This is not the time to be jealous. It's the time to appreciate the love that we share for these young minds. Now, if we can move together as parents that the Lord has anointed us to be to these children, we will do perfect together. We want to take them to a place where they no longer feel alone, they no longer feel lonely, they believe in the innate knowledge that God has given them, and they believe that they're here to fulfill that purpose. We just want to hold their hands, just like Father John did for me, from a place that I never thought would be. And Father John, he loved me. I was a rebellious kid, I know that. And he just took me up, never gave up. He could have sent me away 7 times a day. My aunties used to tell me, what child are you? Father John would have crippled you, would have beaten you up, you become a cripple. I was relentlessly tenacious, but he was also relentlessly loving. And I know that that's what our children need. You don't give up, you just keep going until they understand that love really truly exists. And that's the big vision, enabling a child by love simply. Yep. There is a place special for you to become a part of this movement that has started. You're invited to become a partner. Come see what we're doing. We're based in Uganda, in Kampala, and in the northern part of Uganda. So you visiting us means a lot to us. And us coming close as we have done to you is our way of extending this invitation.